What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build-It video. Today we're going to be doing a contest mayor's walkthrough for the city Dice. Dice, can you put your name on your album when you get a chance? You got to remember, I look at multiple albums, so you got to keep your guys' names on them, okay? Alright, so I want to explain the mistakes that were made and how to collect the milestones the right way, because a lot of people are collecting them the wrong way, okay? So here we've got 5 days, 4 hours. It's the beginning of the contest. Right now we are setting the scene. This is the first thing that you do anytime you look at somebody else's week, or really even anytime you start the contest, right? So if you just decided to start the contest midweek, you need to keep that in mind, that you can't do the same assignments you could do if you had started on time. Or at least there's a higher risk for you. Okay, so setting the scene. He's level 24. No experience available. 5 days, 4 hours remaining. And he's in Mega. 60 assignments left. Alright, so he's got plenty of tickets, so let's go ahead and start. The milestones are all doable, right? Perfect, okay. So he has a premium storage assignment. Premium being that it can be worth up to 3,000 points. High premiums are worth over 3,000 points, or have the ability to be worth over 3,000 points. Non-premiums have the ability to be worth just below 3,000 points. Usually right around 2,400, 2,500, something like that. Rotatable assignments are assignments that are in your list below 2,000. Main assignments are doable assignments in your list over 2,000 or higher, okay? Last resort rotatables are the non-premium assignments that have a high algorithm attached to them that are at a certain value. So like repair for 1,200, keys for 1,200, coins of any value. Those are last resort rotatables, okay? The only time you do last resort rotatables is if you are flipping the doorway. I have videos on how to do that and what that is. If you are in value over up, okay? And if you are in reverse rotation. Those are the only times you touch those assignments of that value. Now, he has a premium storage main, but this particular assignment, you guys, have to be very careful with. If you can't do this assignment again, don't touch it until the very end of the contest. Because what'll happen is it'll return, right? Usually within an assignment or two. Definitely, almost always within 7 to 8 assignments. Okay, and usually it doesn't take that long. But keep in mind that if you do this assignment and it covers up one of your good doorways, you're going to be screwed. So you really want to keep that one on the back burner unless you have enough storage parts to do the assignment again, saying it does block a good doorway. War Disaster, that is going to be his first assignment that he does. It's the highest. Good opportunity. It's fast. There you go. All right? That's going to be his first choice. The next one is the Submit Design Challenge for 2,500. Now, this one is a non-premium assignment that he can't do. It has a high algorithm attached to it, so the only situation that he would even touch this assignment is if he was to cancel it, and that would be if he really had no other choice. And it would not be to get a better task. What it would be to do is to clear out that value placement, to try to get that same assignment back for a lower value, because we know this assignment is going to be in the list, right? So if you're in a situation where you've got a lot of high valued assignments you can't do, and all of them run a higher risk, then you would try the design challenge cancellation. The gingerbread, okay, 2,250. Right now what he would do is he would take a look at the Santa shop and see what he had prepped. If he did not prep gingerbread, knowing that it's going to be probably his next choice, he would pick up one thing from the Santa shop, use the yellow arrows across the shops, his other shops, probably, let's say, the hardware store. Start there unless his storage is, maxed out. Then he can just click on the Santa shop, collect one item, start one gingerbread, throw that on a token, okay? By the time he finishes the war assignment and he determines whether or not that doorway is going to be decent to him, then he can say, all right, I need to go over here and deal with the gingerbread now. Okay? So that this stuff is at least going. It's really important. Speed is really, really important, you guys, especially for low-level players. The next one would be the glass. Okay, this is a premium for low-level players. However, because of its downtime and the fact that he doesn't have very many factory slots, he would have prepared feed. He doesn't currently have feed in the list. Therefore, we don't want to clear the feed and drop down the glass, right? We don't want to do that. Especially when glass is at this value, it just doesn't make sense. So right now, we're just going to ignore that, okay? The only time we're going to prep the glass is, let's say he's going to bed, and he has very minimal rotation options. He's cleared quite a few assignments, so he can afford the downtime. And he, like I said, he's going to sleep, so he preps glass instead of feed, and then he does it the next morning if he needs to. That would be a good scenario in where you would prep the glass. If you haven't noticed, we're going to do this walkthrough a little bit differently. I want to explain how you're doing what you're doing and how you should be setting up your shops and all that stuff, because so many people really don't know how to do that, okay? So the cargo ship, what you're going to do when you see this assignment, knowing that he's probably going to have to rotate this, within 15 assignments or so is my guess, depending on what he gets, of course. First thing he should do is check his cargo ship, see what the items are. Do not pack the boxes at all. Okay, because if you do that, it could be a waste. You could not send it off on time, or you could not be able to find the materials required, and then you end up screwed, and yeah, you can't send it away for a new one. Not that you should do that as a low level, but as a high level, that would be a problem. So, check your cargo ship, see what you can do about that, okay? See how long you have until it leaves. Do not do this assignment based on that alone. This is just purely double checking everything for the convenience of when the choice becomes the right choice. Okay? The next one is an epic project. So what we would do from here, and this is something he should have done before the contest began, really, is you would double check and make sure that you have a good inventory, the coins to start the epic, the coins to complete the epic, that kind of thing. At some point, he does rotate this task. What he would do is he would donate only 30 points, and he would stop, because this task is going to return. He's going to fit as many of this assignment in as he can, saying it's the correct choice, okay? Before the 24-hour timer runs out, and right around the last hour to 2 hours, depending on what your storage capacity is and how active your group is, then go ahead and finish your epic off if you, leave yourself enough time to finish it off, okay? The keys and the repair are already here for last resort rotatable value, okay? Which means that unless, for some reason, we have some reason to believe that that is blocking the doorway, okay? We're probably going to leave these to sit for the duration of the contest until value becomes greater than op, which is the last 15 assignments. Whether it be the last 15 assignments or the last 15 tickets, whichever ones you plan on completing. Then you have Monster for 1,000. That is a non-premium high algorithm task at no touch value. Okay, the only time you do this task if it is 2,000 or higher, because then it's taking up a main place value. Okay. Residential building for 800. He does not have the experience to do this assignment if it returns, therefore he can't do that task, okay? Because then it's just going to create a problem for him. Then we have the flower at the bottom. Now this is a premium for low-level players. We consider shop productions premium. And it is at the bottom portion of the list, which means if he needs to shift what I call the weather system of the week, then he can reach down to the flower. So what a lot of people don't really understand is that your list is broken into 3 sections. Top, middle, bottom, okay? The top is where your main tasks lie at the beginning of the week. This is usually where your good doorways are placed, right? At some point, you get some garbage assignment on that doorway, and then you rotate a different assignment, right? for high-level players, what they do is they almost always jump straight to the bottom, skipping the entire middle of their list by rotating like their 1K VUs or whatever. For a low-level player, completely different, because they cannot run the risk of changing the weather system and getting a bunch of upgrades. So what low-level players do is they actually slowly rotate down the list, usually, okay? And this way, it doesn't shift the weathering system too much. You ever notice, this is something you guys should have picked up on by now. Even if you don't take screenshots, you should have noticed this at some point, okay? Have you ever noticed that you'll be playing your week and you'll notice you haven't gotten like really any factory tasks or any upgrade tasks, like at all? This is probably something you guys noticed when you were doing streaks, right? Maybe you had a week where you did really well and you noticed, man, I haven't got really any upgrades. And all of a sudden you're getting close to streaks. And you're like, well, I need to start getting these upgrades to roll in. Do you remember what you did to have that happen? You started reaching down lower on the list. You started rotating some of these non-premium last resort rotatables. You started changing the weathering system of your normal rotation pattern. And all of a sudden, you'd be able to stack up 7 upgrades within a couple of assignments and be able to start the streaks. Remember that, because that hasn't changed, right? So if you're a low-level player and you reach down too far on the list when you have other things that you should be doing, it's going to change the rotation and you're going to flood yourself with stuff you can't do. At this point is usually when people come to me and say, Missy, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Can you tell me what to do? That's when I go back through their week and I locate all the mistakes they made, tell them which mistakes they made, and then I try to fix their fuck-ups. And I try to say, okay, I think this is where your semi-good doorway is located. So if we can cancel this, or we can do this, or we can move this here, we might be able to arrange your list in such a way where you can get back to your normal rotation pattern. Sometimes that's not possible, okay? Sometimes you just screwed your week up so bad I can't even locate a good doorway because your whole list is milkshaked. And that does happen quite a bit, especially with low-level players, okay? When you're a high-level player, it's so much easier to spot these things. Now, keep that in mind because it's very important as you make your choices. So let's go ahead and see what he did. So here he does the war delivery, or the war disaster upgrade, which is correct, right? That's his main doorway. That is his first starting doorway. Pay attention to the first 3 starting doorways you rotate, okay? And what you get in return. So he just got a 1K Paris, which means starting doorway 1 is sealed for the duration of the contest. I mean, he's pretty much not going to cancel that, right? So unless a rare occurrence comes up, where he's been thrown into reverse rotation or something, and we have to go and try to locate a good door, and we can't locate one. This one we might try to come back to and cancel, but that would be a very rare occurrence, right? Very, very rare. We still have 2 other starting doorways. Unfortunately, the 2 main doorways are the storage and the design challenge, right? So from here, we wouldn't want to cancel the design challenge. We don't know what the week presents to us, and we don't want to do that yet, okay? The storage, we really don't want to do that unless we have the pieces to do it again. So the next one would be the gingerbread. See why he should have got that on a token? So he does the gingerbread. Okay, perfect. Now he gets coins. So this would be starting doorway number 2. Now, this is a last resort rotatable task at any value. So again, unless we have reason to believe that this is our good doorway, then we may have to flip this task later on, but for now, it's last resort rotatable, okay? So from here, if he can't do the storage at least twice, we're not going to cancel the design challenge, okay? Glass is too much downtime, and he already has feed prepped. What's the next one? The next highest in value good opportunity would be the cargo, right? Then we have Epic, and we have keys, repair, disaster, residential. So let's just pretend we're going to mark off keys, disaster, monster, residential. So the only thing down here that we have right now is the Epic and the flower. We don't really want to go as low as the flower yet, right? Because of value and because of shifting the weathering system. We don't want to do that. Not quite yet. Epic doesn't really pose any real opportunity. I mean, usually what you do when you rotate Epic, unless it's at a good value, is usually when you're closer to like 20 tasks remaining and you need to be able to rotate a few things, locate a good doorway maybe, because you know it's going to return, right? It's not a good option early on is what I'm trying to say. If you're in such a position where your list is so bad that you're already resorting to a 1200 epic, you've got a big problem if you're only at like 50 something tasks remaining, because that is not a good option. Okay, so here he does cargo like he should have, and he gets smoothies. Okay, so from here, and you guys pay attention, okay, because this shit's important. I've never done a walkthrough like this before, so I want you guys to pay very close attention. So from here, he does this doorway, and he gets a main task. So what you're going to do, whether I don't care how you do it, if it's through a screenshot, if it's through a notebook, I don't care. You're going to keep a mental note or a notebook note or whatever. Mental note, probably not a good plan. And you're going to say, okay, this is main task on this doorway. This is the first main task that he's gotten kicked back, right? So you're going to put that aside. And you're going to write down smoothies 2400, okay? And this is going to be your doorway average. So I usually mark it as DWAVG, doorway average. So right now, he's done 1200 on this doorway, and now he's about to do a 2400, okay? So you have your overall average that you should keep for your assignments. Then you have your doorway average. Your average is your total points earned divided by total assignments completed. That should be right around 2,000 points at all times, right? Your doorway average should be anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 points at all times, right? Okay. So if a doorway average is really good, then that would be the doorway you would want to go back to. See why that's important to keep? Okay, so from here, we've got a 1200 on that door and a 2400. So he does the 2400, and now he gets a 1K task. So from here, if we were to complete this assignment, we would have done 3 assignments in total, and we would have had a 1000, 1200, 2400, right? So you have to ask yourself, is there something else I can rotate? Because this just came in. This VU for 1000 just came in. Now, VU is usually a hit and miss. It's either going to be great to you or it's going to be bad to you. Right now, all it's showing us is it's not going to be good to us. So it's probably not a good idea to rotate it when it just came in. Now, here's the issue, though. He doesn't really have a whole lot going on for him, right? So what we would do, if we couldn't locate another task that posed a better opportunity, then we would look at our doorway average and we would say, okay, let's add up 2400 plus 1200 plus the 1000 if we were to do the VU. That's 4,600 points divided by 3 assignments. That's just right around. Oops. Sorry, I dropped my phone. That's 4,600 points. 4,600 points divided by 3 assignments is going to be 1,533, okay? So you would be right around 470-something points down on your average. 467 points on your average. So what you have to decide here is, do I continue with the VU doorway and lower my average, or do I rotate something else in hopes to get something better and locate a good doorway? So that is when you would look around your list, because right now, honestly, it's looking like do not touch the VU. But we have to look at our surrounding assignments, right? What other option does he really have? Look at him. I mean, look. We've We've got coins we can't really do. We've got a 1K Paris that if we cancel could come back as a 3K, and we don't know how our week's going to treat us yet. We've got a 3K storage that we've already talked about that. Now we've got the design challenge for 2,500, right? So we could cancel the design challenge and open up the value placement, but again, that's not really helpful at the moment. It's not. You know, we're not so blocked up in our list where we can't get high-valued assignments, so that's not a good plan. The only other thing would be the Epic project, right? And so far, he hasn't really been kicked back anything decent. So now let's go look at his average and let's see why he hasn't been kicked back anything decent. So now we calculate up the total number of points earned, right, which is 6,450 because he hasn't collected any milestones because he shouldn't have yet. Do not just collect milestones, whatever. That is not how you do that. Okay, so we're going to divide that by 4 because that is the total number of assignments completed. So right now his average is 1,612. Right? So he's about 400 down on his average already. So he is not doing very well, especially for the fact that he's only 4 assignments in. Normally you guys do like a 3K task, 2,500 point task, whatever, right? Right now, that's not really working out well for him. See what I'm saying? So we got to do something else here. The Epic is probably not going to be much of a better option for him. So before we change the whole weathering system and possibly fuck up his entire week by reaching down and doing the flower, he's got 2 options. He can either attempt the VU doorway again and see if it is good for him, or he can attempt to flip that coins doorway, okay, which is one of his starting doorways, but it's a little early for that. So what I would do if I was him is I would go ahead and do the VU again and see what happens. Just test the week again and see what happens, which is rare. It's rare that you guys would do VU at 1,000 points when it just came in. This is one situation where you would do it. So he does the VU. Here he gets a expand mountain. So remember, we got to keep our doorway average. He had a 1,200 cargo, a 2,400 smoothies, a 1,000 VU, and now he has a 2,500 mountain. So, assuming he can do the mountain, okay, we've got a 7,100 average, divided by a total of 4 tasks. That brings his average to, his doorway average, to 1,775, okay? So now he's not as down on his average as he once was. That 2,500 points helped. So let's see what the mountain kicks back. If it's just going to be one of those things where it's like high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. And it is. So now it kicks him back a 760 on ornaments. So from here, if you're trying to run a 2K average and you have to do an assignment for 760, that's a big hit when your average is already low and your doorway average is low, right? So the doorway average is not at 2,000 points, and his average is not at 2,000 points. So this doorway isn't posing to be a good thing, but it might be later. I mean, we have seen a few decent tasks come from it, but right now we need to shift something. So from here, we have to decide, are we ready to shift the weathering system and do the Epic project? When the Epic project really doesn't give us any good opportunity, right? We have 2 options. We can cancel the design challenge and see what comes up from the design challenge. We're going to try to flip the design challenge doorway. That's what I would do if it was me. I would cancel the design challenge and then rotate maybe the Epic or the flower. I doubt he thought that far ahead. So my guess is he probably went with the Epic. And by doing so, he'll probably get the Epic back within a few assignments, and we'll see how it changes this week. Now, the reason that I wouldn't do this is because if we have to cancel the design, let's say he does the Epic, okay? And let's say that it leads him to an upgrade because now he's shifted the weathering system of his week. So now it ends with an upgrade. Let's just say that. What's our next step? Probably the flower, right? Because that's his only other good doorway, and then the ornaments. But right now, we have 2 main doorways taken up. It's rare that you would cancel the design, but right now it's at main task for the value, and it's at its highest value point. So the worst case scenario, you cancel the design, and it comes back for 2,500 points. Best case scenario, it comes back as a design upgrade for like 800 points, which would be perfect, because at least we would unlock our main doorway. We're looking for the value placement here, okay? So my guess is he probably did the epic. Yeah, he does. So he does the epic. So now we're on a new doorway, okay? So from here, starting doorway, this is the first time he's done, or not a starting doorway, but we're going to start calculating up his average. So 1,200 points, 1 assignment done. So he's 800 points down on his average on this doorway so far. Now it gives him a 1,680 on spatulas, right? So 1,680 on spatulas plus the 1,200 for the epic. That's 2 assignments completed with a total of 2,880 points, when you want around 4,000 points for 2 assignments completed. So again, lowering his average significantly. Now he gets epic back for 1,600 points. See why the epic is not a good one in terms of opportunity? So from here, again, lowering his average probably does the 1,600. On the epic, okay. Now he gets the 2K VU. So right now we've got 4 assignments on this doorway, only 1 being a main task value. So 2,000 on the VU. So now we've got a total of 6,484 points, 480 points earned on the epic doorway for a total of 4 assignments. Ouch, not a good thing. But right now, it's probably looking to him like he's doing better, right? Because he got a 1,600 point task, now he's got a 2,000 point task, but in reality, no, it's not being good to him. So he does the VU, and now he gets a 1,590 on minerals. So from here, he has to say, I want to junk 6 hours, or whatever it is, of feed to do these minerals. To lower my average again by doing the minerals. So here we've got 4 assignments done, none of which have been anywhere near 2,000 points, besides the 1 VU. And now we want to do a 1,590 minerals and junk 6 hours worth of downtime for feed to do it. Hell no. Hell no. Absolutely not. This doorway sucks. It's completely fucking you over. So from here, you have to decide, what am I going to do about this? If I go down to the flower, I'm probably going to get swamped with upgrades or factory assignments, because we haven't seen much of those, right? We just had a factory assignment roll in. We've already got glass in the list. We don't really want to get swamped. So doing the flower, probably not a good plan, especially since his average is really low, right? Now, I would cancel the design challenge now, definitely, because we're probably going to have to resort to the flower here in just a minute. And if we haven't at least canceled that, it could totally screw us. His only other option is to flip the coins doorway. Why the coins doorway? Because it's one of his starting doorways, if you don't remember, right? So he could do the coins doorway and attempt to flip and see if that is a good doorway. So either cancel the design challenge or flip the coins. That's what I would do. He went with minerals. So let's add that to our doorway average, 1,590. That's 8,000 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 assignments done. If he was running a 2K average, he would be about 2,000 points higher. So he's 2,000 points down on his average, which means in order to combat this, he needs 2 3K tasks to fix his doorway average. Not his average. We don't know. What's his average? Ouch. Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible, but considering it's, what, 11 assignments in, it's not great. A couple thousand down. Okay, so here he gets an 1800 on tape. Again, not the 2K average. Not a bad assignment, but for the situation, it's not a good one. This is just lower. It's not doing him any favors. This might be an okay doorway for terms of opportunity, you know, like not getting garbage like upgrades and stuff. But in terms of value, it's just screwing his whole week up. I know he probably went with the tape. So he goes with tape. And this is, you guys, this is why I'm doing this walkthrough this way, because I want you guys to see the entire thought process of why we're choosing what we're choosing and how to arrange things and everything, okay? So from here, he does the tape. So let's add that to the doorway average for 1800. One second here. Okay. So now we're at 9,870 on this doorway. For what? 3, 4, 5, 6 assignments. Yeah. Ouch, that really sucks. Okay, so he does the tape. Now he gets a 2K VU. So pay attention to history. Okay? That's another thing you got to look at. The VUs come in 3 times. 1K on a different doorway, and twice on this doorway for 2,000 points. So remember when I said doorway 1 always, you know, kind of A, B, C leads back to doorway 1? We're going to see, like, the same general tasks on this doorway. We've seen 2 epics and 2 VUs out of 6 assignments so far. We've had 2 double ups, right? So from here, he does the VU. Okay. And he gets an epic. So now another double up. Triple up. Whatever you want to call it. So out of what? I think it's 8 assignments or something. We've got 3 epics and 2 VU. Right? Yeah. 2 VU and 3 epics. So he does the epic again for 2,000 points. Okay. See why we saved the points on the epic? So from here, he gets the gingerbread for 2,400. Okay. So the last 3 assignments have been main task value. However, only the gingerbread has given him an extra 400 points on his average, because the other 2 are holding a 2K average, which is what you're supposed to get, right? So from here, now he gets a 640 on lawn chairs. So don't get tripped up on yourself here. Don't start thinking, well, I just had 3 good tasks. Maybe I should go with the lawn chairs and possibly screw myself. That's not necessarily a good plan here. Let's go back and look at your doorway average. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 assignments done, 16,000 assignment points earned. Yeah. So from here, you can decide if you want to continue to lower your average again, because now you have to calculate the points for the lawn chairs, right? Against your average. Yeah, that doorway was okay to him for the last 3 assignments. But the last 9 assignments, it's only given him 3 decent tasks, one of which only gave him 400 points up on his average, and now it's going to kick him down again by like 1,400 points. That's ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like putting $100 in a slot machine, and then the last 3 spins give you fucking a $20 payout, a $20 payout, a $20 payout. Now you're like, woohoo, I won $60. No, you're still down 40. It's just trying to make you stay here. That's all it's trying to do. That's pretty much what this is. And my guess is it probably worked, so he probably does lawn chairs. Okay, so he does lawn chairs. So now we're at 10 assignments on that doorway. 16,900 and 10 points earned. Now he gets a gingerbread for $25.50. Okay, so again, don't get tripped up here. It gave you a 1,600 or a 600 point task, and now it's giving you a 2,500 point task. So right around 3,000 points when you really should be earning right around 4,000 points for that. See what I'm saying? But it is a main task, so he does that. 25.50. Now, the reason that you guys want to shift doorways when doorways aren't good to you is because when things like this happen, you're kind of forced to go back and do that assignment, right? Like, why wouldn't he do the gingerbread? That would be foolish. So he does the gingerbread, and now he gets a 1K VU. So, again, kind of just going back through the same assignments. We've got gingerbread, we've got epics, we've got VUs. I mean, it's the same general weathering system for this doorway. So, from here, do we lower our average again and do the VU? Hell no. No. But you know what he's probably thinking? He's probably thinking, well, I just had a 2,500 point task. Why wouldn't I do this doorway? It's been good to me. Because it hasn't been good to you. And you would know that if you went back and looked through your screenshots and you calculated your doorway average. Now he does coins. Now, this wasn't necessarily a wrong choice, but he didn't make it for the reasons that were right. So I'm going to explain why this was correct, but also wrong. Okay, so for the reasons that he did it, he was wrong. He just did it because he didn't know what else to do. That's why he did it. But why I would have done it is to go back to the starting doorway and to flip the coins. Okay, now in order to flip something, you have to have a good opportunity doorway to stick it to, right? So think of it like this. A last resort rotatable task has an algorithm attached to it that causes the assignments to come in frequently, right? If the idea is to do the coins and hopefully get a doorway that actually gives you good assignments, then if you do the coins and you get a good assignment and you keep working on that doorway and it gets blocked up by coins again, you've now defeated the entire purpose. So what you have to do is you have to do the coins. No matter what you get in return, you have to flip the coins to a different doorway. In order to do that, you have to have an assignment that doesn't have a high algorithm. Unfortunately, because he waited so long to do this, his average is significantly low. So he's going to take a hit on his score by doing the coins in general. Let's say that he gets a good task and he does a different doorway to try to get the coins back to. Well, we know that coins usually comes back within 2 to 6 rotations. It could be 6 rotations or even more before the coins return. Usually what you want to do is you want to rotate the doorway you're flipping, go to a different doorway no matter what you get in return, rotate at least 3 times, try to get that assignment back on that door. If it doesn't come back on that doorway, go back to the assignment doorway you just unblocked. Work that doorway. If the assignment comes back on that doorway and that doorway was really good to you, then go ahead, rotate it out again, take another hit on your score, and try to shift the assignment elsewhere. What you don't want to do is uncover the doorway, get a decent assignment, try to flip the doorway, not get it to flip, lower your average, dinking around with that, and then totally screwing yourself. Now, he's already got a hit on his score. His average sucks. His average is terrible, right? So, we really don't have time to be dinking around with this. 18 assignments done, right? Okay, so this doorway is new. So we erase everything and we say, okay, new doorway average, 1275. Does the coins. Gets a 1760 on grass. So again, not giving him anything great. My guess is he probably does the grass for 1760. That's 3,035 points earned for 2 assignments. So another 1,000 down on his average, basically. Not a good plan. Remember when I said you got to flip it somewhere else? What I would do is I would cancel the design challenge. Okay? That's another hit on his score. That's 2,000 down on his average. That should have been done ages ago. the doorway flip and the whatever, the cancellation should have been done ages ago. So from here he does the grass. Now he gets plastic. I don't know what he has prepped. How many days do we at here? So let's see. 3 days, 9 hours. I don't know if it's daytime, if it's nighttime. I don't know what he has prepared. But what he should have done somewhere in here was he should have prepared glass at night and rotated that glass out. However, his ass is moving so damn slow. He's got 3 days, 9 hours remaining, and he's only done 19 assignments. So he really can't afford to do the glass now. Because if he does that, he gets it back for double downtime, or he starts rolling in factory tasks from shifting the weathering system, we're going to have big problems. See what I'm saying? So now, because of how slow he's been working, especially as a low-level player, and again, I don't know what time of day it is for him, he's running out of options. He also, you have to look at when you collect your milestones, okay? You want to collect your milestones in such a way where you do the first 3 and you get them all stacked up, okay? Try not to go above 2,600 on your average by collecting these. But you want to get the first 3 collected so that you can roll in the other 3. Once you get the last 3 in, save those for the last, 30 seconds or whatever of the contest. If you guys wait until after all your assignments are completed, collect the 3, and then have to actually do the other 4 milestones or whatever, that's going to really hurt you. You want to be getting credit for these periodically throughout the week, but you don't want to boost so high up on your average that it lowers your average by collecting them. Okay, because if you have too big of a points jump, the game's going to give you garbage. But that's not what's going on here. He's only collected 1 milestone, and it was fairly recently. So from here, he boosted his average up, so now he's running a 2K average. But you have to remember that. You guys really should have a piece of paper that, or you can go back through your screenshots if you want to do it that way. It's a good reason to have them. You guys really want to remember how many milestones you collected so that you have a good idea of what your base average is. This will trip you up into thinking that you're doing better than you really are. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, he gets a upgrade residential zone. Now, this actually gives you credit when you complete an epic project. Okay? So if you transform an epic project, it's going to give you credit for this. That's why he has 1 credit for it. Do not just do epics for this stupid assignment. That is not a good plan. Alright. So he does the coins, does the grass. Now he gets plastic. So not knowing what time of day it is, he probably did the plastic. Now if he junked feed or something that was prepared for that, that was foolish. So he does that. Again, lowering his average. Now he gets a 1,600 on sugar. Now it is at the points value where we would consider doing sugar. But do you really think he has the downtime to be dinking around? I don't think so. Do you really think that sugar is going to be very promising for him? Probably not. Also, we still have that coins assignment out there that's probably going to return soon. So what I would do is I would go back through my screenshots and I would say, when was the last time that my doorway actually kicked a main task? Do you remember? The ornaments. Remember, we had the low, high, but it was still a main task. And we have the 1K VU, but the 1K VU doorway, we worked for like 11 assignments, and it just totally fucked his whole week up. So that's probably not the best one. I would have went with the ornaments. He really can't afford to hit on his score at the cancellation. He could try, if he wants to try, the design challenge cancellation. But those are his 2 options. The ornaments, the flower, and the design challenge. Now, he hasn't had a lot of upgrades roll in, so I wouldn't touch the flower. Going down that low on the list will probably flood him with upgrades, so I would try to avoid that. I would go with the cancellation of the design challenge first to unlock that high value placement. And because it was one of his 3 main tasks at the very start of the week, if you don't recall. So that also makes a difference. He went with sugar. Okay, so let's add that to our doorway average. Okay, now he gets wood. Okay, so what have we noticed about this doorway? Plastic, wood, factory assignment. So we had coins, grass, wood, or coins, grass, plastic, wood, right? Sugar. So 3 out of these 5 assignments have been factory tasks. Notice a doorway weathering system shift from what we were seeing on the other doorway? Okay, so from here, he probably did the wood. Lowering his average further. Now he gets hit with another shop production. Okay, so it went coins, shop production, factory production, factory production, factory production, shop production. So he does the candy canes, which takes probably quite a bit of downtime and a lot of tokens. Okay. Now he gets epic. Not knowing what his epic timer is and what's going on with that, that would be his next play, would be the epic, right? He does the epic, okay, 2,000. Remember, we got that coins assignment out there. We're getting real close into 6 rotations, 7 rotations here. It's probably going to come back soon. If it hasn't already come back, it's probably going to come back soon. So now we've got that, and he gets an expand city. So I don't know if he can do it or not, but we haven't seen this assignment all week. Now we're seeing it. Okay, another 2,000 point task. He does that. Okay, so let's add that. So we've had 3 main value tasks, but our overall doorway average sucks. I mean, he's only got 14,000 points on this doorway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tasks completed. Okay. So let's see what he gets from that. Now he gets a holly. Okay. So now we're going on 4 tasks, main task value. That's not bad. So it's up in his average a little bit, right? So it's giving him an extra 100 points on that specific assignment towards his doorway average that was down. Okay, so from here, he gets a 2,500 war disaster. All right, cool. So right now, this doorway is posing to be a good one. So we've got the 2,500 war. So now we've got 18,995 points. So let's just say 19,000 points, okay, on this doorway average. And we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now we get the coins back. That sucks, doesn't it? What do you think has to happen now? Well, now we got problems. Because the doorway wasn't super great in terms of a doorway average, but the last few assignments were okay. However, if we take another hit on our score to rotate these coins out, and they come right back, that's going to be a problem. If we take a hit on our score to rotate the coins, and we get a good assignment back, we have to flip the coins somewhere else. And we don't know how long that could take. So, not a good plan. What I would do is I would rotate the coins, and then see what it gives you, and then rotate the ornaments, is what I would do. Because the ornaments were the doorway that had the other main task attached to it, it's unlikely that you would get the coins back immediately. So this would possibly... What rotating the ornaments would do is this. It would do one of 2 things. Either the coins is going to come back on it, and then you're going to have moved it and hopefully unlocked a good doorway with flipping the coins anyways. If the coins doesn't immediately come back, which it probably won't on one rotation, then at least you've uncovered the other maybe possibly good doorway I mean, it's the only other one we have to go on. In the process of at least shifting the weathering system again, and then you can try rotating the VU to see if you can stick the coins to the VU doorway, right? So kind of killing two birds with one stone here. Taking a hit on your score with the ornaments that you're probably going to have to take later anyways, in hopes that if you do get the coins back, it's going to go ahead and block that doorway off. Or if you don't get the coins back, you've done an assignment you had to do anyways, and then you've possibly been able to shift it elsewhere after that. So from here, let's see what he does. So he does coins. Okay. So let's add that to our average. That's 1350. Ouch. Okay, now we've got a problem. So now we've got 3 tasks at main task value, all of which that cannot be done. That just came in, so we can't really cancel it because we don't know if we're just going to get swamped with upgrades. So we can't cancel the design challenge, take another hit on our score. We could do a double cancellation, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea considering it just came in and we're really low on our average already. So again, now we would rotate the, actually right now would be a good idea to rotate the flower, honestly. And the reason being is this. Remember the whole reason why we were avoiding the flower? Because we didn't want to shift the weathering system and possibly get flooded with upgrades. So if we might have to do a cancellation, sooner rather than later would be ideal, right? If we dink around with the VU doorway and the ornaments doorway, and those doorways aren't good to us, which they're probably not going to be considering the way the week's been going. I mean, they're not going to be great, is what I'm saying. Like, your only real option that we've located so far would be the ornaments. But right now, nothing's been great to them. Like, the whole week has been pretty shitty, right? The only one that's been semi-okay has been the doorway that has the old town attached to it. Now, if we have to take a hit on the score, you also have to think. Just because this assignment is bad for him doesn't mean the game knows that. Think about it like that. So this doorway just kicked him a 3,600 point task. That's a great thing for a high level player. Just because you're deciding you can't do it doesn't mean it's not a good assignment, right? So that's still a good doorway in terms of value. We have to remember that, okay? That being said, that might be our only halfway decent good doorway that we've located this week so far. So if we know that we're going to have to cancel that, and we know that if this doorway does lead down a path where it leads to a dead end, we know that our only other options are flower, ornaments, VU. Okay? So if we're going to shift this weathering system, now would be the time to do it, when we've already have upgrades rolling in, and we might have to cancel. So I would go with the flower. He went with the VU. Okay, so he shifted doorways, right? So let's cancel that average out. Let's start adding this one up. 1,000 on this doorway. Okay, and if you have a piece of paper, you should be able to go back to this doorway and find your average. Just know that you're calculating up 2 different types of averages once you get to your doorway average. Okay, you have like the doorway average for how this doorway's been to you the whole week, and then you have the new way, like the new wave, so to speak. So now it gives them a 1,200 chems. Now, 1,200 chems, if you look at your comm guide, that is not a good assignment in terms of opportunity, and especially at this value. So that's how. By doing this assignment, he would lower his average again, take downtime he can't afford, and the chems usually return pretty quickly, okay? So that really is not a good plan. He went with, what did he even do? I don't know what he did. Oh, it looks like he canceled. Okay, so he cancels the old town. Not a good plan, by the way. Not that early on, and you should have rotated the flower first. But anyways, he cancels the old town, Okay, so we're going back to that doorway. So now we're negative 2,000 points on our doorway average from that cancellation. Okay, so starting our new doorway calculation, keeping the old doorway calculation on standby, minus 2,000 points from that, from the cancellation. Then he gets a 900 gingerbread. So from here, he does the flower. Really? Are you fucking kidding me? Ouch! You just canceled. Now you're going to reach down low on the list and possibly totally screw yourself? Should have done that first, before the cancellation, okay? It's a good task. Obviously he's going to do it. So we've got new doorway, 600 on the flower, 3,000 on the delivery. But notice we haven't seen any deliveries all week. He shifts doorways, the weathering system changes, and now we start seeing assignments we haven't seen all week, okay? Sometimes this works to your benefit, sometimes it doesn't. With upgrades being a huge majority of assignments that you guys can't do, that's your biggest risk. So from here, we've got the delivery to London. He is 32 assignments into the contest, and he's got 2 days and 11 hours. Gotta get a move on, dude. What is that? Well, I mean, at least it's there with the low value, but that doorway possibly was your good doorway. So that really sucks, because now you can't afford another cancellation. It would be stupid to cancel at 1,200 Old Town when it can come back for 3,600 points. So now you've completely eliminated that door for the rest of the week. I mean, it's too risky to even fuck with it. So from here, what does he do? So from here, we look at our list and we say, okay, what assignment on this list is 1 from our starting doorway, 2 is attached to a good doorway. Well, the gingerbread is the doorway that had the 3,600 Old Town come in on it. The ornaments hasn't been done since the very beginning, and that gave us at least 2 main tasks on it. The design challenge that hasn't been canceled, that was one of his starting doorways, or starting main doorways that hasn't been touched yet. The 1,000 Paris was one of his starting doorways. So, given that he hasn't really located any good doorway, and we're 32 assignments in here, aside from what we just discussed, it's possible that his good doorways are hiding underneath of his last resort rotatable repair and keys. He could attempt a doorway flip on those, which is what I would probably do in this situation after I rotated the ornaments, because we don't know how those ornaments are going to be to us yet. If we rotate the ornaments and they give us garbage, then I would do a doorway flip on the keys or the repair, one of the two, preferably the keys first, okay? And try to flip them to a different doorway. So let's see what he does. So he goes back to the doorway that was halfway decent, which was the gingerbread, okay? So again, you've got all this on your little piece of paper somewhere, and you're adding this up, and now we're going on, you're going to have your total doorway average, and then you're going to have your wave, so to speak. So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. This is the 3rd time we've switched back to this doorway, and we've restarted calculation. So that's 900, and he gets a main task. Okay, so again, this doorway has been decent to him. It is giving him main tasks. So from here, he does the war deliveries. Okay, now again, he's got to get a move on here. If war ends and he hasn't figured it out, and the monster's not there, it could cost him a lot of money to try to do an assignment, or he could have to leave an assignment to sit, which would really hurt. If he moves so damn slow, and then he gets a launch 3K attack in Club Wars and he can't fucking do it, that's going to suck, right? Because he drug his feet forever. Okay, so from here he gets a 600 rocking horse. That sucks. That means that one main task that it gave him, I mean, 900, 2,000, and then 600? No. Hell no. No way. So from here, he went with the rocking horses. Why? I really couldn't tell you why. I have no idea. Actually, no, I do know why. I'll bet you I know why. He went I just got a 2K task from this. Maybe it'll happen again. He's not going back through and thoroughly looking at his week and narrating it. You have to remember, you guys are playing your week, right? I'm looking at your week over the course of like a 45-minute to an hour period of breaking it down. This is over the course of several days. You have to look back at your screenshots and remember why you did what you did, why it was right or wrong, and locate your mistakes. How many of you guys are actually flipping back through your screenshots and paying attention to where you went wrong? So from here, he does the 600, and let's add that to the doorway average. And he gets a 3,000 delivery to Tokyo. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 assignments done with a 6,500 point on wave 3. Okay. 600 again. What's this pattern that we're noticing here? Have you guys picked up on it yet? 900, 2,000. 600, 3,000. 600. I'm going to go ahead and assume he did the 600. No, he did the chemicals. Okay, so he shifts doorways. Now, problem being that he did freaking chemicals, right? So if that assignment comes back for 1,700, it's just more downtime. It usually does return. The doorway wasn't good anyway, blah, blah, blah. Not a good plan. That's the chemicals. 1,200. Starting a new doorway average. 1,200. Now he gets a 1,440 on bricks, which he does. Should have been flipping that repair or that whatever. Also, don't forget, we still have those coins out there somewhere, which will probably come in the moment that he shifts on one of these lower doorways. Okay, so bricks leads to an upgrade war card for 3,000, which he does, I'm assuming. Okay. At this point, honestly, I would say, look, my week sucks. I screwed up. I haven't located anything good. I've got 2 unclaimed milestones. I need to look at my average, look at my time remaining. I have 21 assignments left plus tickets. Second war is almost over, so if I get war assignments I can't do, I'm going to be in a world of hurt. I need to look at my competitors, my leaderboard, and I need to decide whether or not I need to invest in this week any further. Keeping in mind the cash that's already been invested, which hasn't been much. He's only had like 2 delivery tasks and like 1 cargo task, I think. Two cargo tasks, something like that. So if we invest more war cards and tickets and resources into a week where we can't win, or where it's very low chance of winning, that is probably not a good plan. So here is where I would consider a forfeit and say, look, I need to decide if this is even worth my time. Do I want to go for second place? And if so, what am I willing to invest to get second place prize? Because these war cards are going to get scarce quick. Okay, this player has been playing for a while, and I don't know what his war card situation is, but with the sale having been ended and the keys being scarce, you got to be careful that you don't just drain yourself on a week you can't win. Okay? So he does the war card, and he gets a London delivery for 1,000. Well, that sucks. So that's sealed off. So now we've got the 600 cargo, which, honestly, at this point, knowing that it's probably going to kick back a 3K task, or at least a main value task, I would probably go with the cargo, get my main task, and then rotate out the ornaments. Assuming that we can follow the history of that. So, okay, now he's going to do a doorway flip. Or he's trying something because he doesn't know what else to do. Or maybe he says, you know what, I just had an upgrade roll in. I've got 20 assignments left. I don't know if I'm going to use tickets. Maybe I'll go value over up a little early. Maybe that was his thought process. I don't know what his thought process was. But he does that. Okay, so keys 1,200. Starting a new doorway average. Wave 1 on this doorway. Gets a 2K VU. Okay, so 1,200 plus 2,000. Okay. All right. Now he gets a 2,400 Paris. Okay. So let's see. 1,200 plus 2,000 plus 2,400. Okay. But now we're investing more cash. 2,000 epic. Don't know what his epic situation is, so let's see if he can do it. Okay, he does. So investing more resources. So obviously he's going for it. So what has this doorway been so far? Rotates the keys. Main task, main task, main task. See why we should have flipped this ages ago when I said to flip it? Okay, so he does that. $2,500 beach. This is why you guys have to pay attention to your doorways, okay? What happened? What happened to his good doorway? That would not have happened had he not made that mistake a while back. See how your mistakes can come back to bite you in the ass? When he rotated those chemicals, and I said it was a mistake, if he had not rotated those chemicals, they would not be here now covering his only good doorway he's had all week. See the problem here? So now we know that that is a good doorway. We have keys still out there. Several rotations on this door, so they're probably right around the corner, especially the second he shifts doorways. Downtime he can't afford to take. On an assignment that has a pretty significant algorithm attached to it for a factory task. So really, if he had played quicker, then this wouldn't be as big of an issue with this mistake. So I'm assuming that he went ahead and did the chemicals. No, he rotates the repair. Okay. Well, all right. So he does a repair, so starting a new doorway average. All right. 2,400 on the epic. Okay. 2,000. Well, it's a good door, but bad option. Can't really afford to cancel here. You know what I mean? Like, we can't. So from here, he goes back to the chems, which was his keys doorway, except for now, what do we have? What have we accomplished by doing the repair? We lowered our average by doing the repair, right? We got one halfway decent assignment, I think. Well, right? What do we get? Yeah, the epic. And now we rotate the chems, except for now, what do we have? We have coins, keys, and repair still out there. They can block this doorway off. The only benefit to this is that he doesn't have very many assignments left. So if it comes in, well, he'll just have to do it. But let's say he was early on in his week and he did this, that could seriously fuck his whole week up. Okay, so does that, gets going back on wave whatever for this door, I can't remember anymore. I gotta remember, I don't have paper next to me, I'm just doing this with the phone in my hand. So 1,200 on the chems doorway, plus the 2,000 on the expansion, I'm assuming he did. Okay. Now he gets a 1K delivery. Well, that sucks. So you guys, what have you noticed? I wanted to see if you guys would pick up on this. Notice every time you switch doors, it switches the weathering system for your doorway. Remember that doorway was good to him until he shifted. The moment he shifted, the doorway shifted. And now it hasn't being as good to him, right? Sometimes you go back and the doorway's great, no matter what you do. But other times you have to be aware of what you've opened up. Like the chemicals, like the keys and the repair and the coins. You've entered in possibilities that would have otherwise not been possible. That has a huge effect on your week, okay? When people send me a text message and they say, I did this, got this, did this, got this. That is the worst thing you can say to me. It's the stupidest thing. And I'm like, and? That means nothing to me. I don't know what your surrounding assignments were. I don't know what risks there were. I don't know what other options you had. I don't know what your doorway average is. I don't know what your history was. I don't know what slot on the list it was. Was it at the top? Was it at the bottom? Was it at the middle? I don't know how many tasks you had left. None of that means anything to me. And I cannot tell you how many times people come to me and they say, I did this, got this, did this, got this. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, what? Oh, for heaven's sake. All right, so from here, what would you guys do? Probably those ornaments, huh? I mean, at this point, what's another hit on the damn score, right? To uncover something decent. We also have that cargo doorway, which had that pattern of 600 2K, 624K, you know what I mean? So, I've been yelling ornaments for fucking, like, 40 tasks here. Because we've got to get those rotated through. It might not be a great doorway. It might not be. But it's the only other hint that we have towards a possible main doorway. The only other one besides what we know about, which hasn't been great. So now he does the storage. I would not have done this yet. I'm assuming he can't do it twice, and I would not have done this yet. Depending on how many assignments he had planned on doing. I know from speaking with him that he had continued to go competitive. So at this point, he was under the impression he was going to use tickets, is my understanding. So from here, I absolutely would not have done this. Now, saying he hadn't planned on using tickets, then maybe, right? But no. If you planned on using tickets, this was a bad move. So from here, now he gets to 2,700 rocking horses. So let's start a new doorway average, 3,000 plus 2,700. Okay. Ouch. So now what have we done? What's happened? Well, we got 2 decent tasks, and then we got it sealed off with a high-valued upgrade. What did this do for us, though? We can't really cancel it. It's blocking up a main task door, but what else? Now we have that storage assignment floating out there that has to roll in. So where do y'all see room for the storage, the keys, the coins, and the repair? Not many options here. The moment he starts rotating out these good opportunity doorways, he'll probably get replaced with some of those assignments, right? It's a damn good thing that it's near the end of the week, because had he milkshaked up his week like this early on, yeah, that would be a problem. Given that he has 15 tickets remaining, that is a problem still. Okay, so from here he came to me for help, and I told him to do the ornaments. See what happens, and go from there. So hopefully this walkthrough is more informative for you guys. If you liked this walkthrough better this way, let me know. I know it's super long, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be informative. But let me know what things you guys want me to touch base on. If there's anything you're confused about, put it down in the comments section. If you want me to walk through your week and you have your screenshots set up just like this, where you show the top and the bottom of the list and you show me which assignment was completed, and you show me the top portion of your list, showing me your milestones, time remaining, average. I need all that information in your list. Organize it into an album, send me the link, and I will grade it for you. One more thing before I go. We have slots in our group, okay? Right now, we do not require people play competitively, but we want you to be active and productive, and if you play the contest mayor's, great, okay? If you're interested in joining our group, hit me up on Facebook under my MissyAnne account or with like a Discord link down below. You do have to have Facebook in order to join the group. It does not need to be connected to your city, but you need to have Facebook because you have to be added to the group chat. Look up the playlist that says group rules, watch the group rules, and the new members video, okay? Once you've watched both those videos, you understand the rules, hit me up, I'll add you in. You'll add the digits to your name, you'll know what that means when you watch the video. And from there, you'll be in a really active group that hits legendary every week, and As long as you follow the rules that are in the video, we'll be all good. Okay?